What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Pancis. This is my 2004 Saab 9.5 Aero. If you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button. About 80% of you watching these videos are not subscribed, so help grow the channel by smashing the subscribe button below. And of course, as always, give this video a like, share, and of course, comment down below. Today, we're going to pull the oil pan in this car, replace the seals. I've done it before on other Saabs, so I'll link all those videos in the description below. So if you guys want to watch a more in-depth tutorial of how to do this, you can. In this video, we're just going to get right through it. So let's do it. Alright boys, we did that in record time. We are now ready to pull the pan. I'm going to start off with the bolts on this passenger side because those are the most pain in the butt ones to do, and then we'll just take the impact gun and just knock out the rest of them, pull it down, clean it up, prepare it for reinstall with some new seals. I'll take you along with that. I don't have any of the sealer because FedEx is delayed, so I might have to go run out and pick up an extra tube at some point today. But in the meantime, we'll just get this thing rolling. And that was pretty quick there. We removed the exhaust, we removed the transmission cover there, we removed the bolt for the torque mount, which we need to replace, and got everything out of the way, prepared, and now let's roll. Alright boys, update for you. The bolts that are underneath the subframe on the passenger side, which by the way are the worst ones to get out, are out. So now we're just going to take the socket, get the rest of them out, pull the pan, put this jack in place on the transmission, and then I'll show you guys the inside of the pan, and then I'm gonna pause for the day because I gotta go to work, and we'll come back and finish it up. All right, boys, here is the pan, and this will be a true testament of how good the new system, ventilation system for the engine is, the PCV system, which on the old engines would sludge. And as you can see, before we even pull the sump, how nice and clean it is. There's no like burnt oil. This engine was really well cared for, so that's amazing. So we're gonna pull this out, and then we're gonna change out the seals on the sump pump, and then I got the seals for the oil return line. So all those seals, again, will be linked down in the description below for you. All right, guys, moment of truth here. Let's pull this off. And we can leave that on there. Moment of truth, let's pull this off. And there you guys go. We have a completely clean sump. You're seeing it live. Very, very little debris in here. In fact, almost none at all. This is probably the cleanest oil pan I've ever seen. And again, this engine has almost 200,000 miles on it. And that is just proof in the pudding on how well this car was taken care of. Super amazing. This is really, really awesome. Alright, boys, so we just cleaned everything up for the most part. I put the new seals on. The seals were very hardened on the old seals there. They were very brittle. Let me just show you what this is like. When this happens like this, and these things just kind of crack and fall apart like that, that is just no good. So the cross return feed actually just kind of like fell down as soon as I touched it. That's how brittle the old seals were. So very important to get it done. I'm glad we did, because now everything's gonna run really nice, get good oil pressure, and of course save the engine from self-imploding. That's the whole purpose of doing this stuff. So I'm just gonna wipe this down, reinstall it into the engine, and then take a break and come back later this evening, wrap this thing up. We're pretty much clean. I just gotta clean the surface of the engine. As you saw, we did the pan pretty much for the most part. I'm just gonna wipe it down, get all the debris and dust out, and then we should be good to go on that. Alright, boys, we are back. It is the same day, evening now. We're gonna reinstall this oil pan, and if I didn't mention it earlier in the video, this is one of the cleanest oil pans I've ever seen in a Saab. So props to the updated PCV system. This thing was in really, really good shape. So before we go ahead and apply the gasket maker, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the bottom of the engine real quick, and then we'll hop into this. Alright boys, we are all set to go here. We're gonna go right on in there and install the bad boy. All right, I'm gonna go get the passenger side and I'll bring you back for the torquing. All right, boys, we got our torque spec set. Now we're gonna just torque everything down and then put everything back together. Get this exhaust manifold back up. Should be pretty quick and easy, hopefully. I spent some time underneath cleaning some of the oil residue that was around the oil pan. As you can see, it's nice and clean under there. There was a valve cover leak from this car for like a little while before the owner gave it to me. He got it fixed, but it was leaking profusely. So all that oil just kind of dropped down and, you know, got the whole engine kind of dirty and sludged up. So we wiped some of it down. And the reason why that's good is because I'll manage it now and see if there's any other leaks. I know the head gasket on these can leak, but the head gasket on here seems to be pretty good. Sometimes the head just needs to be retorqued, but you know, it looks to me, based on my visual this time of night, that it looks to be fine. So we're gonna leave it alone until further notice. But usually if they're leaky, the head gasket, and it needs a retorque, it's not like a terrible leak. It's just one of those little seepages that could be annoying to watch when you like to keep your engine bay completely clean of oil. So we're gonna be crazy with this car, but not too crazy. It's got a lot of miles to it, but we're gonna still make sure it's right. So let's torque this spec on the pan and then, like I said, put everything back together. All right, boys, a little update for you. We got the exhaust all strapped up. Everything nice and organized underneath here. Next up, I'm just gonna go ahead, put the harnesses back into place on the top, wrap up the top here, and then, actually, you know what, before we wrap up the top, I'm gonna wrap up the bottom with the torque mount, which we need to replace, FYI. So we'll be doing that, and then we should be good to go. To wrap up this side, we just got this cover here to put on, and should be good to go. All right, boys, we are all set to go. We got everything back into place, wires hooked up. The only thing I'm not doing is filling it with oil. I'm gonna fill this thing up with oil in the morning because I've had a long day today and I wanna actually go relax a little bit, but tomorrow morning, bright and early, we're gonna get over here, fill her up with oil, fire her up for the first time. So stay tuned. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take a quick few minutes myself and inspect for that coolant leak that we've been searching. Since I have a nice light, I'm gonna get under there, shine it down, and see if I see any moisture coming from the driver's side, which is where I suspect it's coming from. I didn't see any coolant on the passenger side here by the water pump, so that's a good sign that the water pump is not leaking. So stay tuned for more in the morning here. It's gonna be 2 seconds for you, but for me, a couple hours, so see you here in a minute. All right, guys, next morning here, bright and early, we're just gonna top this thing off with oil, and then we're gonna let it run. And once again, I'm gonna inspect number 2 on this AC. I'm gonna inspect for the second time this coolant leak that we're getting somewhere. So let's hop into getting this thing up and having our first start. All right, here goes for this first start, guys. Nice and smooth, and we're not leaking any oil. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna get under there, inspect everything, and let this thing run for a little bit. All right, we got our headlights back in, everything is working. This thing has been idling now, and it's not going to show up to full strength temp because the thermostat is stuck open, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles on that one. But no engine light, no oil light. We got a normal idle, so that's exciting. And we don't have any oil leaking. This is residue from yesterday. Oil is sitting on the oil sitting on the exhaust there. You can see on the top, it's nothing coming down. So that's a good thing. Alright guys, so as you can tell, we got a nice running Saab. It's burning off that oil in here, so that's okay. It's coming from the exhaust manifold, which is to be expected since it sits right there as you saw. So stay tuned for more. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please be sure to smash the subscribe button, like the video, comment below, and of course if you guys want to follow me at Kyle Pancis on Instagram, if you have any questions, be sure to do so. I'll link everything down in the description. Also, just so you guys know, 80% of you aren't subscribed that are watching my videos, so if you guys can be so kind to hit that subscribe button and help build this channel faster, that'd be so much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.